Welcome back, Truth Seeker. We got a real tearjerker of a story here. Virginia family is trying to process how their healthy 10-year-old daughter died from COVID in 5 days. And you can tell how healthy she is by the rolls of fat already on her young face. Here, let's read the story about this healthy 10-year-old. See if the Jesuit scumbags might have a thing or two to do with it. CNN. A name you can trust because James Earl Jones does their commercials. A Virginia family is trying to process how their 10-year-old daughter went from being perfectly healthy to dying in 5 days from COVID-19. Again, keep in mind the picture of the little girl shows a chubby little face there. And again, if you're fat at a young age, you're not healthy. You're setting up a world of hurt. Continuing with the story, as they process their abrupt and profound loss, their message to COVID non-believers is simple and direct. Have compassion for others. If sharing their daughter Teresa's story changes one person's mind about getting vaccinated against COVID-19 or wearing a mask to protect others, they say they have done right by their daughter. Keep in mind, their daughter, Teresa, could be a product of the website thispersondoesnotexist.com. Yeah, check out that website. I learned about it from CNN. It generates a lifelike looking person that is a computer-generated image every single time you refresh it. Anyway, Teresa attended school at Hill Point Elementary School in Suffolk, Virginia, not far from the Federal Propaganda Center. 20 miles outside of Norfolk, Virginia, where there is a mandatory mask mandate in place. Man, you would have think Teresa would have been safe then. Her parents, Nicole and Jeff Sperry, are vaccinated along with their 2 older sons. Teresa and their youngest 9-year-old son were not yet vaccinated, but were eagerly waiting to become eligible. That's because killer Pfizer was so slow to have the FDA approve their vaccine for the toddlers. Teresa's COVID symptoms began with a headache on Wednesday, September 22nd, and a fever the following day. Keep in mind, these are symptoms nobody ever had before COVID. After consulting with the family's pediatrician, who is part of the Children's Hospital of the King's Daughters Network on Friday. No way, the Kings, remember, Corona means crown. The King's Daughters Network on Friday, September 24th. They set up a COVID test for the following Monday, September 27th. September 27th, you mean the day leaving 95 days left in the year where the Jesuits were recognized by Rome to counter the 95 Theses? So we do have a nice little Jesuit connection. On Sunday evening, however, Teresa developed a nagging cough so bad it forced her to throw up. So Nicole took her to a local emergency room where she was tested for strep throat, which came back negative, as well as a COVID, but those results were pending. They did her chest x-ray, and when they came back, they said that there was no signs of COVID pneumonia. Her lungs were perfect, beautiful. They didn't seem concerned, Nicole said. So they went home and Teresa continued to quarantine. Within 24 hours, she stopped breathing and was rushed to a local hospital and ultimately transferred to Children's Hospital, the King's Daughters of Norfolk, where she died. So it sounds like she died then on Monday, September 27th, the big Jesuit day. Parents advocate to end school mask mandate. On Monday, as Nicole sat next to her child's lifeless body in the emergency room, so yeah, there's Monday, September 27th, trying to make sense of how quickly they had lost their beloved daughter, less than 10 miles down the road in the school district where Nicole teaches, a 2-hour school board meeting took place where parents advocated for the district to drop its mask mandate. Comments like, "We didn't know anything about COVID at first, but now we do. We know it's nothing to be afraid of if you're healthy. And COVID is effectively over," can be heard on camera during the meeting. At the same time that I was at my daughter's bedside, Chesapeake Public Schools was having a school board meeting, and I had friends come back and tell me later that while I was sitting next to my daughter, who was no longer with us, there were adult parents. They're basically saying COVID is over and healthy people don't die, especially kids, Nicole said. And I'm sitting there next to my dead daughter, who was perfectly healthy, who's a child who did everything she was supposed to do. Okay, you can read the rest of this story if you want, but here's what else I'm going to tell you about this story. Let's look at the names. Teresa Sperry, the name of the little girl, her name equals 155 like coronavirus. And remember, coronavirus was first simulated on May 15th, 15/5, 2018, 2 years to the day of Trump declaring Operation Warp Speed to rush out the vaccines. And that simulation was exactly 666 days before the pandemic was declared. The father's name, Jeff Sperry, equals 56. Coronavirus equals 56 when you use the rules of numerology, 155, 56. Just like Gavin Newsom equals 155 and 56, the guy who locked down California saying in 8 weeks, 56% of California will have coronavirus. 8 weeks is 56 days, 56%. Now he just did the mandate by the numbers. But then the mother's name, Nicole. Nicole, when you run the alphabetic order in reverse, Nicole equals 104. She's the narrator of this story on 10/4, October 4th. And again, you guys, you know what? I think we got the news story right here. So maybe this is the mother and father. They look a little plump. And what's sad is there'll probably be an ad here before we can listen to the story. Of course, they got to advertise something to us.
And this jetpack is
But
it's all on Stardust,
again, I mean, just claiming that a child's healthy when you can see that clear as day she's got rolls of fat on her face, I mean, that's not healthy. And let's see the parents. Here we go.
Teresa passed away at
Well, what do you know? The parents are fat and sloppy.
And I'm sitting next to her bed.
Okay, the volume's really quiet. You can hardly hear it. But I mean, just take a look at the parents. These are supposed to be the parents.
For my district, and one of my friends told
again,
me
and CNN's actively telling you that you're healthy if you're vaccinated, and apparently you can be a fat slob and you're healthy too. That's the new health standard. Fat slobs are healthy. Just get your vaccine and be a fat slob and be healthy. You know.
And when she told me that,
again, this same news media, you guys, all it does is advertise shit to you all day. Pharmaceutical drugs, junk food. It doesn't give two shits about your health. It wants you sick. It wants you exploited. And it wants you living in fear and complying with the medical tyranny that is this pandemic.
Just are so nonchalant about it.
Again, I mean, what a joke. You know, how did I guess that the parents would be fat slobs with a, fat little girl? How did I guess? You see it all over America. You go outside, you're at the grocery store, fat parents, fat children. I mean, it's a joke, you guys. It's the idiocracy. Until next time.